Well, hello, my beautiful people. My name is Gat, and welcome back to, you know what it is, Ascendant Hearts. Last time, we went back to Dr. Takizawa to find out what was in the water. It was basically Ascendant magic, which is basically, we get to talk to monsters. And we went back to the Sacred Springs to, get the analysis on flowers that we found. And Aiko did a flip! Like, this girl pushed her and she did a flip! What else happened? We gave the flowers to Dr. Takizawa. He's like, 3 days and to do it. And we're like, what are we gonna do for 3 days? Find out for Ascendant magic. And to find out more about it, we gotta go to this raid, right? So, we need a 4th member. We got a new member named Chisei? Chisei. Yeah, you're butchering these names, aren't you? I am, totally. So, yeah, and now we're gonna go to the Tower of Basil. So, without further ado, let us continue. Outside of town, I look around. For the first time, I realize I never traveled far from Lightshire. The library, the Sacred Spring, Dr. Takizawa's lab. It's a good hike to reach them, but not much when I consider there's an entire world out here. Where's the Temple of Basil? Do you remember the forest where we gathered eggs? How could I forget? Indeed. What happened? Is there a story here? We don't have time for stories. Her flat tone leaves no room for argument. Our new party member isn't one for wasting time, it seems. She makes her point even clearer when she starts through the fields without us. I guess she really wants to go on this raid. We hurry enough to catch up to her. Anyway, once you go through the forest, you'll eventually reach another forest. The Temple of Basil is in there. What's in between? In between what? The forest is. Nothing. Then, isn't it a single forest? No, you'll see. Somehow, she makes the simplest phrase sound foreboding. When we reach the forest, I get tired. I'm getting tired. She stays far ahead of us, although still within sight. On one hand, I'm glad we haven't stopped to fight anything. On the other, a small rest couldn't hurt us. Aiko and I are both lagging behind, several yards ahead of us. Shiori looks back every now and then to make sure we're still there. My next skill point is going into endurance. There's an endurance skill? I really hope so. She stops and hunches over as she tries to catch her breath. Phew, I'm not used to this. I stop as well. Shiori, wait up a minute. She turns and walks back to us with a frown. You two really need to prove your physical capabilities if you hope to make it as adventurers. I know, but for now, can we take a quick rest? I am the party leader after all. She cups her hands around her mouth and shouts to Chisei, who gets further away with each passing moment. Hey! Chisei! Hey! No response. She scowls and shakes her head. I'll go get her. She breaks into a run to chase down Chisei. You saw how she ran, man? She was like Speedy Gonzalez, like, andale! Fuck. I love Speedy Gonzalez. I fucking love him. Anyway. Those two aren't exactly gonna be best friends, are they? Aiko sits down on a nearby tree stump. I don't know why Chisei is in such a rush. Me neither. The forest is quiet as we catch our breaths. Occasionally a frapper soars above us, but none of them attack. Time passes with no sign of Shiori or Chisei. The forest gets even quieter. Is it just me, or is it getting a little too quiet here? She's right. The forest no longer feels peaceful, so much is dead. She stands up, and I place my hand on my weapon in case something happens. A twig snaps, and we both roll around. The stranger and I shout at the same time. You again? You again? You again? What's your name? Do I even have her down as a... No, I don't have her down. And I don't have my pen near me. Shit! Aiko puts her hand in front of her defensively, as if she expects to be shoved into something. Seeing this woman at the sacred spring was one thing, but meeting her on our way to the Temple of Basil too? It can't be a coincidence. Once again, we accuse each other in unison. Are you following us? Are you following us? I pause. Us? Yeah! I look around for any signs of who she's traveling with, and she dashes away. Oh, was that her going, yeah? Wait! I take a step towards her, but she's already vanished into the trees. That was weird. Could she be investigating Ascendant magic too? Approaching footsteps makes us jump, but it's only Shiori and Chisei. Did something happen? You two look like you've seen ghosts. The woman from the secret springs was here. What? She asked if we were following her. Strange. We don't have time for this. If you rest enough, let's continue. As impatient as ever, I wonder how Shiori convinced her to go back for us at all. Maybe she at least realized that she can't get into the Temple of Basil without her full party. With a sigh, Aiko and I rejoin them and continue on throughout the forest. Whoa! 1 minute we were walking between normal trees, but the next? Now you understand why the two trees are considered separate? Yeah. Keep moving, we're almost there. She marches on as steadfastly as if we're not in an evil force of doom. Of course, if the Temple of Basil is her favorite raid, she must be used to it. We keep walking, but I can't help but feel uneasy. Why does it look like this? The Temple of Basil has corrupted the land around it. Corrupted? What about the monsters? Nothing lives out here. That's a relief. If the temple corruption makes the forest look this bad, I can't imagine what corrupted monsters must look like. All corrupted beings moved into the temple to be closer to their god. That is not comforting at all. We're going to see them inside? It wouldn't be much of a raid if there weren't monsters, now would it? I knew I didn't want to be an adventurer. I started to remember why I didn't want to be one either. And there's something in the temple about Ascendant magic? Like I said, the worshippers were researching it. While the creepy monsters were there. Of course, Worcestershire sauce. Sorry, Of course, the worshippers were corrupted too. Somehow, I hear the capital letter. She keep mentioning worshippers, not worshippers. It's not a casual people who goes into the temple to worship sort of word, but a specific term to use to describe a group. Open my mouth to ask what sort of temple this is, and then a dark, creepy building comes into view. It's not that bad. When I think tower, I was thinking like, like a big ass tower, with like the Lord of the Rings, the tower with the eye on it, the eye of Sauron or something like that. We both stop dead and stare at it. Up ahead, Chisei appears to realize we stopped following her. What's the holdup? We're coming. It's our first time seeing the Temple of Basil, remember? It's awe-inspiring when you're not used to it. Awe-inspiring? That's one word for it. The three of us follow Chisei towards the temple doors, and I just hope it looks less ominous on the inside. It has marbles, what the fuck? Like, it looks so clean and white. So much for looking less ominous inside. This place makes my head hurt. Shiori, what sort of place is a Temple of Basil? This doesn't look anything like a church back in Lightshire. Why would it? It has nothing to do with our religion. The worshippers are generally considered to be a cult. I never had guessed. So, this Basil god that they worship,
the name of their god. It's the name of their land.
Then why is it called the Temple of Basil?
Because that's where it's from.
She looks at me as though I'm dense. I tried to work my way through this. You mean, this building itself originally came from another country called Basil?
That's right.
Worshippers transported here?
No.
Please don't tell me it walked.
Oh no.
Thank goodness. Then how did it get here?
No one knows. But we suspect secret worshippers used dark rituals to open a portal, which transported their temple here.
Seriously? Wouldn't most people just build a new temple?
Did you say the dark rituals? Yes. Are we going to meet the worshippers?
Running into crazy cultists on the raid never occurred to me. I wonder how the adventuring rules handle humans fighting another humans. It probably isn't good.
No, we shouldn't run into them. They've long since abandoned the Temple of Basil. Phew!
I thought you said that they didn't mind the corrupted monsters running around.
They did it. According to stories, the Temple of Basil became a haven for the worshippers to study arcane magic, perform their rituals, and of course, worship.
I'm not gonna read that, or even. Okay.
Eleanor.
God bless you?
Huh? That wasn't a sneeze, Hayato. Azanor is the name of the god's name.
Azarath? Azarath. I'm not gonna call it Azarath. Azarath Metrios Zintos. Really? I look around the temple's strange interior and think about the name. Did I take a wrong turn and wander out of an RPG's land into some Lovecraftian horror game?
Everyone, stay focused.
It's hard to stay focused in a place that looks like this. Where should we look for clues?
The worshippers conduct research here, so we should find some sort of library or archives.
Something about what she said nags at my thoughts. Like, I forgot something important. Disturbed by more than just the building, I walk with the others deeper into the temple. Ah! So this is what a corrupted monster looks like.
Less gawking, more fighting!
The monster certainly isn't going to wait for us to get our act together. It dives at Aiko, who repels it with a flash of light. I run towards it and swing my sword. Shiori joins us with a burst of fire, and Shisei lunges forward with her daggers. It's tougher than a regular flapper, but not bad with all four of us working together. Shisei is a definitely boom to our team, with quick striking attacks that doesn't give the monster a minute to rest. We defeated the corrupted flapper, and let out a sigh of relief.
This is just the beginning. Stay alert.
As we proceed through the temple, it only gets weirder. Not only does the architecture make my head spin, but soon we pass strange carvings, artworks of endless abyss in incomprehensible monstrosities and arcane symbols that make my skin crawl.
Wait up a minute.
She walks into the alcove beneath the terrifying painting and returns with a sheet of paper in her hands.
This is a note written by one of the worshippers.
What? Why was it laying in a random corner?
These notes are part of the Basil Temple raid. Most adventurers skip them to get the reward as quickly as possible.
Why? Well, I kind of do the same thing because I don't like to read. But like, I play Skyrim a bunch of times that like I get bored and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna read some of these. Even like in Fallout 4 and New Vegas, I start reading them too.
Many of the Cryptyard dungeons have scattered journals and messages like this.
At this point, I shouldn't be surprised. I bet there's also locked doors we have to open by solving puzzles. We should look for every note. Yeah, fuck it.
Right. The more we find, the better our chances of learning about Ascendant magic. I've never read the notes in a long time, but it could prove useful. What does that one say? Let's see. For 12 days, I've been researching the phenomenon known as ascendancy. Ah! Strange tremors have been felt of late, and 3 of my fellow researchers have fallen ill. Our pleas to Azarzaza goes unanswered. Why has he fallen silent? We must find a way to reach him. This mystical power may have the key to our prayers.
She folds up the paper and puts it in her inventory, I assume.
So, they wanted to use Ascendant magic to communicate with their god? That's what it sounds like. If you're finished here, we should move on.
Once again, something tugs at my mind. What am I forgetting? I feel like I had a conversation that I'd never finished. I tried to think my way through it, but then we reached a strange door, and my thoughts grind to a halt. The door has three circular indentions in front of it. Shiori reaches for the door handle, but Shisei holds up her hand.
It's locked. You need to find the 3 medallions.
I knew it! I knew there would be a puzzle door. All 3 of them look at me.
Is your memory coming back?
Well... Whoa! The corrupted rammer bounces around us angrily and decides to attack Shisei. She takes it out quickly before any of us can move. I still feel bad about fighting these things. Even the corrupted ones are cute. Cuteness has no effect on Shisei. She sees her daggers with an impassioned expression and walks away from the door. Twisting a lamp on a nearby wall reveals a hidden passageway.
We need to find the medallions.
Our trip through the secret passage leads us to the key, which opens the chest that contains green jewels, which Shisei promptly takes out of the passages and embeds into the painting on the other side of the hall to open another secret passage. Along the way, we find more corrupted whammers and flappers and whammers, and Shiori picks up another note.
It looks like this was written by the same researcher. Ascendancy proved elusive. Retreat deaf to our cry remains deaf to our cries. 5 more have fallen ill. We don't have much time left now. I only have one hope left. I will go to the sanctum and speak with Azazel.
Don't tell me they give up on Ascendant magic and we came here for nothing.
We don't know that yet. Keep moving.
The passage leads us to 1 medallion and another key, which opens the door and gives us the combination to a safe, which opens a safe hidden behind a painting to give us the next medallion and a note.
What is it? Listen to this. That insufferable researcher thinks ascendancy is the solution to our problems. Does he not realize that the ancient power was taken away from humanity for a reason? It is not the domain of men, but it's the domain of gods. If we try to make ourselves gods, we will be punished.
Well, that's ominous.
Sounds like the worshippers didn't all agree on what to do about their problem. Is that all it says?
She's interested? That's a surprise. I expected another current command to keep moving.
Right. There's something scribbled on the bottom here. Star marked E5N3T2.
Huh?
Thank you.
She continues through the temple, as though the incomprehensible string of letters and strange numbers means something to her. We exchange glances and follow her. She stops in front of a strange sculpture of a star and changes appearance even when I look at it.
East 5 steps, north 3 steps.
Then she taps her foot twice on the floor. A compartment in the floor slides open to reveal a final medallion. Okay, if there's a game ever like that, like, what the fuck? Explains nothing. Unfortunately, it's bound in place by several black metal straps.
How do we get it out? There are hidden switches on the floor. We need to press them all at once to get the final medallion. So, we all need to stand on one. Not exactly. There are several switches. This might be awkward. Great. I'll stay here and grab the medallion once it's free.
She crouches beside the compartment.
Hayato, it's probably best if you stand on the far switch. Walk towards the star sculpture until you hear a click.
I obey, and when the floor clicks beneath my feet, I turn to her. I think I found it.
Good. Shiori, you're next. Walk to your left until you hear a click.
Shiori takes a few steps.
Is that it? Now, slide your right foot to... Now slide your right foot to the side until you hear another click. Alright. Now bend over and find 2 more switches with your hands. You must be joking! Aiko, I need you to find the remaining switches. I have a bad feeling about this.
While Shiori feels along the temple floor for the switches, Chise instructs Aiko on where to find the rest. She awkwardly contorts herself, even as Shiori drops to her knees with a grumbled complaint about how nothing is ever easy. I stare in bafflement.
Yeah, Shiori, you're on one of Aiko's switches. What? How? Never mind. Aiko, slide your foot forward. Okay. Hey, don't you have any respect for personal space? Would you rather it was Hayato?
What's that supposed to mean?
Let's get this over with.
Aiko wiggles her fingers a little further along the ground.
Found it. I'm on all of mine now.
We wait.
Nothing's happening. We should have it. Shiori, you must not be on one of your switches. Maybe she missed one of us. Maybe she missed one of. Maybe she's the one missing a switch.
I'm glad all I have to do is stand here. Shiori's arms and legs tremble from the effort of holding herself in this position.
Move a little to the left.
Now I know the worshippers were insane. No sane person would go through all of this just to navigate a temple. I hate that about games too, like someone had to live there, right? So like every now and again, they would have to do crazy shit like that. Think about it. Just think about it, man. It's They wriggle around a little bit, and then at the last strap around the medallion slides away. Chise snatches it.
Got it! Thank goodness!
She collapses on the floor in relief. Shiori disentangles herself from Aiko and stands up. After a moment, Aiko follows.
And you enjoyed this raid? It's entertaining. That's one word for it. Let's go. Wait! Why? Let's see the medallion for a minute. You agreed to cooperate with our quest. Fine.
She hands over the medallion. Shiori looks over it for a minute. And then digs her fingernails into a groove on the side. It snaps open to reveal a piece of paper folded up inside.
What?
Shiori closes the medallion again and returns it to her, but Chise looks stunned.
In all the times I've done this raid, I've never noticed.
What does this one say, Shiori?
I think this one's from the first researcher again. My trip to the sanctum was delayed by a sudden fever. As I laid shivering in bed, the terrible truth struck me. I had the sickness, just as the others did. But with me, the illness was brought by a strange sense of clarity. I must go to Azazel. Sick or not, he needs me. He must tell me something. Wait, does the sickness give him ascendant magic?
Sounds more like it gave him delusions. Really, a fever told a guide his god had an important message for him.
Let's keep moving. The sanctum is a bit above beyond the door.
We take the 3 medallions to the door and insert them. It opens with a rumbling sound. Inside, I see only blackness, as if an empty void waits on the other side.
Look!
On the other side of the door, one more note is attached to the wood. This message was written in huge dark letters. A hastily scrawled message large enough for us to all read. His madness, his voice, the endless abyss has claimed us all.
Well then.
I finally realized what has been bothering me. Shiori, why did the worshippers abandon the Temple of Basil? You never finished explaining.
A terrible plague struck the worshippers. It afflicted them mentally as well as physically. Insane, most of them fought each other, while those who remained healthy searched desperately for a cure. At last, one of their top researchers went directly to Aza for help.
I gazed darts to the ominous notes.
What happened? He was too late. Aza himself had the sickness.
What? that guy finally made it into the sanctum, but their god was sick? Azazaza has already... If someone could comment down below how to pronounce this, I'll be so happy, okay? Azonorath already sounds like some sort of insanely inducing great old one. What happened when someone like that goes insane? At least we don't have to deal with him, unless... Please tell me corrupt Azazel isn't the boss of this raid?
Of course not. Azazel has slumbered since that fateful day. Not even the worshippers has been able to awaken their god.
Thank goodness. Or in this place, maybe I should thank Azazel.
We should move on and finish this raid. I wish we learned something else about Ascendant magic.
Keep those notes, and they could still teach us something.
I suppose.
Cautiously, we followed Chisei past the doors into the dark chamber.
Trespassers, this will be your tomb. Eek! This is the boss. Get ready, everyone.
I draw my sword, although I'm not sure how much good it will do against a ghost. At least I can use my defensive abilities to protect my party members. Sure enough, my sword and Chisei's daggers do only minor damage to the ghostly researcher. Shiori's magic and especially Aiko's light-based magic are the most effective, and we do our best to defend them. It's the most unsettly battle I ever fought so far, and not only because I can't fight directly. The researcher teleports around the chambers and chats in arcane language. Sometimes he shouts ominous warnings too. No, hon, he's dark. I was thinking doing a scientist guy. Hold on. Let me drink some water. Water. The time of doom is upon us. Not only that, but the room itself doesn't make any sense. It looks like an ordinary room, empty and pretty flat. When I walk through it, though, sometimes I find myself climbing up steps that take me to the same level. Or are we going through doorways and emerging on the other side of the room? It's enough to make me dizzy. Chisei, however, dashes from invisible door to invisible door with perfect accuracy to follow the researcher's movement. I guess that's what happens if you do this raid often enough. Suddenly, a shadow arc from the researcher's hand straight towards me. I jump away, but the shadow forms a barrier, trapping me with the researcher.
Hayato! Don't panic, it's just part of the raid.
But what do I do? My attacks barely work on him. You dare defile the sacred place? Speak the name of our god, and I may let you live. Speak! Yes! Ah, fuck. I think it has 2 A's, right? Or does it have 2 R's? I don't know! The researcher reels backwards. So, you were not completely ignorant after all, trespasser. The shadowy barrier fades, and the others resume their attacks.
Nice work, Hayato! Nice work, Hayato!
Shiori sends a burst of fire towards the researcher, and Chisei darts towards another invisible door in time to stab him in the back. Ugh! I linger near Aiko, defending her as she uses her light-based attack magic again. But after a few more attacks, a shadow streaks towards us and knocks Aiko out of the way. Once again, they trap me with the researcher. Why me? You have invaded the sacred place of the worshippers. Seriously? Why me? Show your devotion, and I might yet relent. What is the name of the holy chamber in which we stand? Speak! The sanctum, right? The sanctum or sanctuary? The sanctum. You know its name. Are you perhaps one of us after all? I just hope he doesn't expect me to perform any strange rituals. While the researcher stares at me, the shadow barrier drops. Shiori and Aiko attack him together, and he turns towards them with a furious screech.
Good work, Hayato! The distraction left them open for a major attack!
The battle continues in a similar fashion as it did before. Magic attacks wear them down. Our physical attacks are more useful for defense than anything else, and the room shifts around us. When the researcher turns towards me, I'm barely even surprised when the shadow swirls forth to separate me from the others. And like, oh well, here we go again. Do you always ask the same person your questions, or am I just unlucky? You who disturbed my rest. Why can't he bug one of the others for a change like Chisei? She probably has the answers memorized, since she likes this raid so much. If you are here to aid me, perhaps I have been hasty. Tell me, for how many days did I research Ascendancy before I began to record my efforts? Speak! Fuck. It's either 12 or 5. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Caterpillar by the toe. Every blah, 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 blah. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Fuck. Liar! Liar! You aren't here to help me, but to destroy me! With a vicious screech, he lunges for me before I can reach. Dark magic presses in against me, and I cry out. Exhaustion crashes over me, like he drained away my energy. The researcher releases me, and shadows fade, but I'm not sure I can move, let alone fight.
Don't worry, Hayato! We're all here to supporting you!
At last, Shiori and Aiko wear down the ghost. He fades away, but now without one last haunting cry. The prophecy is coming true! I'm glad that's over.
We couldn't have done it without you, Hayato!
I did nothing! Ah, come on! Your magic helped a lot more than I did.
You gave us an opening so we can attack! She's right. We probably have worn him down eventually, but you made it a lot easier for us.
Maybe I'm getting the hang of being an adventurer after all.
That's for sure. You've come a long way.
We make a pretty good team. What is Chisei doing? Like, you know nothing about us, but she's like, oh. Like, what the fuck?
Yes, we really do. I guess we should get the reward and head back to Lightshire to come up with a new plan.
But Chisei remains silent. She stares at the spot where the ghost floated a moment ago.
Is something wrong? His final words. He never said that before. Could it be because we found the notes hidden in the medallion? Perhaps.
Still looked unsettled as we head through the dark chambers to the other side, where the treasure chest awaits us. And on top of the large treasure chest, another piece of paper rests.
What? That was never there before?
Shiori picks it up and unfolds it. Then she draws in a sharp breath.
I don't believe it. What?
Her voice trembles as she reads the final message.
I have seen my God stricken by illness. I have heard his words, tainted by madness. I received his warning, clear and truth. Thus I shall record it, the final prophecy of Ascendant.
She takes a deep breath and continues.
The gift of the gods turn to destruction, and monsters arise to destroy humankind. Full of hatred, driven by fury, they race ahead towards a dark dawn. Only one can stop the Ascendant Heart, a traveler to our land, sent by the gods from another world.
Shiori's words hit me like a physical blow. A prophecy about a traveler from another world? It's crazy. I have to be ignorant to assume it means me. Maybe this sort of thing happens all the time here. And yet, oblivious to my conflict, the other three frown at the message.
What does that mean? It means that if we want to stop the attacks in Lightshire, we need to help the hero from another world.
She sounds oddly calm about this. Maybe it really does happen often.
Just how are we gonna find someone like that? Post another notice?
Okay, I can't just ignore this. If the prophecy is really about me, they need to know. Otherwise, they'll waste time and effort trying to find another traveler who doesn't exist. On the other hand, how can we be sure this is about the attacks on Lightshire at all? And an insane researcher has a vision from an equally insane god about monsters destroying humanity. The keyword is insane. It might have nothing to do with us. And for that matter, isn't God something we should be concerned about? Mad gods don't generally lead to good things.
What's wrong, Hayato? You look like you want to say something.
Well, the first one. Ask about the prophecy's relevance. Are you sure this prophecy is about Lightshire?
Huh? What else could it be?
Another quest? A new dungeon? Or maybe it doesn't mean anything. It was written by crazy people after all.
How rude!
She insulted on behalf of the insane cultists of Doom? My point is, how do we know if it's referred to our quest or not?
It must.
She doesn't sound uncertain at all. Why?
I've gone to the Temple of Basil raid many times. Never before has this prophecy appeared. And it's hard to believe a reference to Ascendant Heart would show up coincidentally when our own clues led us towards Ascendant Magic. We came here looking for a lead, and we found one. Finally, even if we assumed that the prophecy appeared because of an earlier note we found, the researcher also mentioned it in his dying breath. He had never done that before.
Wait, so the ghost guy you fought him before?
Of course.
He begins to speak slowly, as if she thinks that will help me understand.
He is the boss of this raid. Whenever a group of adventurers go on this raid, he returns to haunt the Temple of Basil once again.
But, man, talk about a raw deal in the afterlife. Not only are you dead, but you have to appear at your old temple on a regular basis to be vanquished by adventurers. On the other hand, I guess we didn't actually destroy him if he comes back for the next raid. Where does he go in the meantime? And I thought the idea of monsters carrying around gold was weird.
Hayato, are you okay? Look a bit dazed.
Just trying to wrap my mind around this.
What's the matter with you? Amnesia. He gets weird like this over the most basic things.
She sounds complaintive, or even suspicious. Does he think I'm from another world? Should I tell them? While I'm trying to make up my mind, Aiko clears her throat. Why don't you tell them? I'm so pissed.
Can we leave now? Yes, there's no point hanging around the temple any longer, is there? Not unless you wish to go to the raid again. No, thank you. No, thank you. Then, follow me.
She leads us towards a door at the end of the chamber. I swear it wasn't there when we entered, but after everything that happened, mysterious doors appearing in dungeons are the least of my concerns. We emerge into the twisted forest. You'd think it would look a little more welcome after clearing the dungeon, but it feels as sinister and threatening as when we arrived.
Now what? I suggest we save any decision making for tomorrow. What? Why? We have been through an ordeal. It's been a long day, and we all want to find answers that could lead us to to make a hasty decision. You got to be kidding me. You were the one in such a hurry to get here. Indeed. So, what? So why did you suddenly change your mind? I did not. We completed the raid. And now you want to just don't want to talk about what we learned? I wish to discuss it tomorrow, once we all had time to think about it. This is ridiculous. It's a prophecy about another monster attack. And it says we need a traveler from another world. We need to talk about that now. Tomorrow. Now!
She turns around, fiercely glares on us.
Back me up, you two!
Aiko cringes and shrinks back.
I like to think about things a little more actually. Thank you. It's good to know I'm not the only rational one here. Rational? Why, you little...
She scowls at me.
What about you?
I hesitate. I can understand her desires for urgency, but every minute we delay, But every minute we delay, the Dark Wolves endanger Lightshire even more. On the other hand, I could use some time to think about the prophecy. Could it possibly be about me? All three of my party members stare at me expectantly. Shiori looks impatient, Shisei irritated, and Aiko worried. No, like tell him now. I hate this so much. Side with Shiori. The quest comes first. I'm with Shiori. We need to discuss this now.
Thank you.
The smile she casts in my direction makes me feel a little better about it.
What do we do now? 2 sides, 2 on one side and 2 on another. We're caught in a stalemate. Hayato and I formed the party first. As the original members, our votes count more. That hardly seems fair. And you've barely been with us a day, so yours count less. Is that so? Well, I don't care if you three decide. I'm not staying here in this creepy forest any longer. I have to.
She takes off through the trees. Aiko, wait!
See what you've done? You've driven your most valuable member into danger. Oh, please. I, at least, will make sure no harm comes to her.
Before either of us can say anything, she runs after Aiko. Shiori and I stare after her.
Well, I see they found a way to force their victory. We won't be discussing the prophecy with them anytime soon.
I wish we could all get along.
At least you're still here.
Thanks.
Not that I need your company.
Are you telling me to leave?
No, I just don't want you to think I'm less capable than that.
She nods in Shisei's direction.
She thinks she knows everything.
I wonder what she's up to.
Who cares? Come on, let's get back to town. We can talk about the prophecy on the way.
It's a relief to be back in a regular forest. Still, I can't stop thinking about the prophecy.
You know, maybe we don't have to search for this traveler after all.
What do you mean? She did somehow suggest.
If we keep trying to save Lightshire, we're bound to run into the hero eventually, right? That's how prophecies work.
Oh.
Besides, it doesn't give us any clues to go on.
Maybe it is me. I'm already trying to stop the monster attacks.
Are you alright?
Huh? She suddenly looks concerned.
You seem disturbed, and you're quieter than usual. Did something happen to you in the temple?
No, it's not that. Tell her the truth. Why would I lie? Why? There's no point. I'm sorry. Maybe you're like, do I trust her? No, shut the fuck up. This is gonna sound crazy. She's not gonna believe it. I hear the music. This is gonna sound crazy, but I'm from another world.
What?
She stops dead in her tracks.
You're joking, right?
No, I don't remember a lot about my home, but I know it's not this world. Where I come from, things are completely different.
Wow.
Do you believe me?
Yes.
What? Because of the prophecy?
Actually, just because you explained so much, amnesia or not, up until now, I assume you were a bit slow.
Hey!
Not knowing Ains would heal you, needing me to show you how to equip gear and use an inventory, and all the weird questions you asked. It makes so much sense now.
Yeah, none of this stuff happens in my world.
Then the prophecy.
It'll be ignorant to assume it's about me.
I don't know. You're from another world and trying to stop the monster attacks, and the prophecy is about someone from another world who will stop the monster attacks. It's not a huge stretch to make.
Maybe you're right.
Tomorrow, we'll tell the others and see what they think. Either way, we'll continue trying to save Lightshire, right?
Right.
Come on. If we hurry, we can get back to Lightshire by nightfall.
I hate how they use the music for that. I don't know what it is. Like, does it bother you? Like, with me, I'm an audio engineer, and like, I'm learning how to do stuff, right? And it bothers me because it's like, that's not the right music to play. At all. Like, right here, this is okay music to play at this town. Because we're back, you know? We return to town. Shiori stretches.
What, LJ?
I wonder if the others made it back okay.
Who cares?
Shiori!
They're the ones who wanted to delay us. What if they decide to leave our party, or just keep insisting we wait?
I'm sure that won't happen. Tomorrow we'll get together again to discuss the prophecy, and everything will be fine.
If you say so. Anyway, I'm going to head to the town hall for some training.
She takes off in the direction of the town hall. As I linger outside trying to decide if I should head straight to sleep or not, Aiko and Chise emerges from the inn. Good, they're alright. Despite Shiori's assurance, I was worried about them. They speak to each other a little longer, and then Aiko returns inside. Chise heads to the church, of all places. She doesn't strike me as being very religious. I yawn. That crazy Eldritch temple wore me out. Yet, how can I sleep when the prophecy keep drifting through my mind? Only one can stop the Ascendant Heart, a traveler to our land sent by the gods from another world. What does it mean? How does the Ascendant Heart the problem? It must refer to Ascendant magic, so it sounds like we were right to think someone is sending the Dark Wolves to attack Lightshire. But who? And why? Well, one thing's for sure. Standing around outside won't get me anywhere. And I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Because we're gonna be at 50 minutes. My timer says 48, but I did take a long time to set up everything. So it might be 45, 47. But either way, I'm gonna end it here. Because it'll be so much fun for next episode to explore what everyone thinks about the stupid prophecy and everything. And of course it's you! Don't be stupid, you know? That's my problem with this guy. He's just... don't get me wrong. Most visual novel protagonists are, kind of dense and stuff. But this guy, shut the fuck up. Shut up. I don't know, there's some problems I have with this guy. But fuck it, he might grow on me. He might grow on you too. So, okay, if you liked the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to see whenever I post, and leave a comment. And also, tell me how my stream was. You're watching this on Wednesday. To me, it's Tuesday, 12 a.m. in the morning. So my stream hasn't even started yet. It's at 10 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time, right? So I'm so excited. I've been setting stuff up and wondering how I'm gonna do this, or what's gonna happen, what we're gonna play, and blah 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 blah. I'm so excited. Tell me how it was down in the comments. I wanna know, you know? Even though you're gonna comment maybe Wednesday, it's still, I wanna get your opinion on how the stream was. How do you rate the stream? Was it 5 out of 5? Out of 10, how do you rate the stream? Here's a little survey in the bottom of the... Anyway, I'm gonna end there. Okay, this is Gat saying farewell. And as always...
Bye-bye!